The whole thing is really weird.
This video is brought to you by our Dining on a Dime cookbook. We have quick and easy recipes your family will love to help you get in and out of the kitchen fast. Please visit us at livingonadime.com. It's 25% off now.
Hello, guys. So we had several questions, and people wanted to know if Mom got the house. She put in an offer last night after the show. The realtor was working on it while the show was going on, the contract, for those of you who are wondering why we were doing the show instead of working on Mom's house. We can't win for losing in this job. So she put in an offer last night, and we said that they had to let us know by noon today.
Well, did you tell the ones who haven't watched this before that I went and looked at one house yesterday, the first house since I've moved here, to try to buy a house?
So here's the thing. We did get a few people, though, who are like, well, I don't understand why your mom needs to buy a house. She's living in your basement. Isn't that enough? You're supposed to be working together in these hard economic times. Okay, if you ever use the phrase hard economic times with Mom and I, let me tell you, it does not go over well with us. At all. So, why, Mom, are you buying a house instead of living in our basement?
Well, first of all, I have been saving for 35 years to be able to pay cash for pretty much the house I'd like to have, you know. I'm not so old that I have to live with my kids. I live off my Social Security just fine. So there's really no reason, first of all, for me to have to live with you, that we can't have separate households. We're both independent as far as our money goes, and we're both doing fine. I mean, I don't have a whole lot, a huge amount, but it's enough for me to live off of.
But it's wasteful for you to buy your own house when you could be living with us.
Why would it be wasteful? Why?
Well, because all that money's just dumped in the house. And
well, what else am I supposed to do? You need it?
Well, I don't. That's what
See,
they
that's
think
it.
we do.
They don't, you know, it's not that they're destitute. If that was the case, I would be staying there. But also, I have a chronic illness. Tara has a chronic illness. And the basement, I can hear every footstep that anybody, there's a couple of boys, young boys that live upstairs. They play video games. They're not bad. The boys aren't bad as far as they aren't.
They don't really make that much noise.
They don't make that much noise, but even if it was just toddlers walking around, I can hear it really loud. The way Tara had problems with dogs barking, I have trouble with the basement noise. And so that I have one that if they stay up till like 11 or 12 at night, I can hear everybody watching TV, walking around, and I go to bed earlier. Well, then, if they get up really early in the morning, I hear that and I get woke up. Or if somebody gets up in the night and flushes the toilet, it's just like constant loud noise. And I haven't been getting a whole lot of rest, because I can hear all the stuff that's going on. So it's just not really...
and you don't like living with low ceilings.
And the basement has really low ceilings. And even though I have a lovely sliding glass door and huge windows down there, there's a deck across the whole section of the basement where I am, and it's on the north side. So I get almost hardly any light in there. No sunlight. And so it's very dark. I mean, Mike went and put special lights in, which helps, but there's no daylight or anything like that. So there's just several different things. Besides, I feel claustrophobic. I don't normally have a problem with being claustrophobic, but I've always lived in houses, even though they were tiny houses, like my log cabin was one room, like 30 feet by 30 feet something, one room, but it had vaulted ceilings. And so the house before that had 10-foot ceilings. So now when I'm in a basement, I feel like I need to walk around with my head ducking. And there was no kitchen in there. If I bake gingerbread men, at Christmas time, there's a small kitchen, but it doesn't have an oven or a stove. And I have like 2 cabinets that I can really use this all down there. So it's just not really, among other things, there's just a whole list of things that's just not working out.
Well, and least of which, one person said, well, it's none of my business. Well, first of all, it's not any of your business. So stop commenting about it.
Yeah.
But secondly, maybe she just wants her own house because she wants her own house. Why is this a problem?
I don't. Everybody else in the world is allowed to have their own house, and I don't know why.
Now,
if I was 90 years old or 85 or 90, I probably will have to live with the kids. But until then, you know, but you know, the main thing is.
Well, hold on. So Mike called in the middle of that. Sorry. So we get along just fine.
Yeah.
But there's no reason why you can't just have your own house.
Well, the point is, if somebody wants like a new car and they are out of debt and they save up so they've got enough money to go buy their new car, what else was I working for? What else was I, saving my money for? But to me, I'm home 24/7. So a nice home, not even a fancy one, not even an expensive one, but just a nice, my own home is important to me, because my home is like my work. That's where I work from. That's where I live. That's where I do everything in. And so I've saved for years to do this. And, if somebody else was saving to get something else they wanted really bad, nobody would think anything about it. And just because it's a little bit more expensive item, maybe. But like I said, I've gone without many, many years. I don't go get coffees. I don't go out to eat. I do almost nothing. I buy all my clothes from the thrift store, and then I do minimum amount of that. I don't spend money on purses and shoes. I don't go get my hair done, all this
stuff, yeah.
Anything like that, because I've saved every penny so I could reach this day where I can buy a home that I love in an area that I love. So, it's not that it has nothing to do with us getting along with each other. I've lived with them for
No, but it's just totally irresponsible of us. Well, I just find it irritating. Here, Mom is probably the most financially responsible person on earth. She never buys anything. As a matter of fact, we're always hollering at her, go spend some money. And people find that it's their place to say, you can't buy a house after working 30 years to save up the money for a house. It's like, seriously? I mean, it just doesn't even make sense. So
yeah, because very few have been in my position. I have not had a mortgage for 35 years. I have not had debt for 35 years. Under really hard circumstances too. Now, yeah. I got out of debt.
And you do all this living on $750 a month.
Yeah.
So,
averaging, yeah.
On average, since my dad died, her Social Security's gone up from widow's benefits, but
it's still not it's still below poverty.
It's below poverty and the basic that everybody says they can't survive on, and Mom's saving $1,000 a month. I mean, it's ridiculous. So, so anyway, so that's why we've been looking for a house for Mom. So,
but can I tell them how fast it went? I mean, even this was pretty.
Well, so we really still can't believe
that it happened.
The whole thing is really weird.
Because what happened was, the last house I bought, I went to between 25 and 30 houses trying to find something. I couldn't find anything. And here yesterday, it was on a fluke. I haven't been watching Zillow. Tars was watching Zillow, and if she saw something, she'd shoot it over to me. Well, she hadn't watched it for probably a day or so, but she usually is on there.
Honestly, I haven't looked for you for a while.
Haven't you?
No, not for you.
And I don't really look that much. I was thinking in a week or two I'd start looking seriously for a house. But for some reason, I thought, I'm just going to go on there. I quit looking because the houses were just outrageous in price. They looked horrible. It was like the house I just sold. A house here was like 3 times the amount and in such worse shape.
So for the house she sold in Wichita for $70,000, here they're going for about $350,000, and they still needed $100,000 worth of work just to clean them up and get them into shape.
Yeah. So I just quit looking. I thought I'll give it a month or so and then I'll start looking again. But for some reason, I was even just standing in my little kitchen area, and I went over to the computer and opened it up just out of the blue, and there popped up right there at the very top was this house. I thought, well, that looks interesting. And so I looked at it, and it was had most of the stuff I was wanting. I couldn't believe it because I found nothing that has even half of the stuff. Yeah,
close.
Not even close. And so I ran upstairs and I showed Tar, and she said, well, I'll call and we'll go ahead and go look at it. Neither one of us thought it would come to anything. And out of the blue, Michael said, well, I'll go with you. Which was a good thing because we wanted if I buy a house, I'd like to have his opinion too, both of theirs. And he happened to decide to go with us. He wasn't planning on it, but then he said, well, I'll just go with you. And we looked at, the realtor said, I haven't even had this on my listing for 10 minutes or something. So he didn't even know about this house himself.
He hadn't sent it to us. We just found it on Zillow, and so he was shocked because it hadn't even been listed yet on his
thing. It was, all of this was just falling into place really strange. And I thought, well, and we walked through it in about 5 minutes, I think. And we just couldn't believe it.
This is pretty nice. I think maybe you should make an offer.
Yeah. And so
even with that, though, they're getting so many offers that it's basically impossible to buy anything right now, because you make an offer and 10 other people have cash offers behind you.
I didn't even think I would get it. And on top of that, I didn't offer more than the asking price.
Yep.
Everybody else is asking $5,000, $10,000 or even more above the asking price. And I didn't do that. I did the asking price. And the thing was, we pretty much knew early this morning. We gave him till noon.
So we gave him till noon today, and we were at the bank putting Mom's extra cash in the bank that she had. And so then he called while we were at the bank at 10 and told us
that I got it. They accepted it. Now, I want to tell you this because, it was just, I was up all night praying. I thought, what have I done? Putting a contract on a house.
She was about to have a breakdown this morning.
know.
Oh, I'm having buyer's remorse.
But then I kept going back and forth. I thought, okay, no. If God's in control of this, and I've been praying for it, you guys have been praying for me even. And I thought, it's either going to go or it's not. And why am I stewing over this? And I fought it all night long. And finally, but what I wanted to tell you, I did get it. It was just unbelievable. They didn't even wait till the noon deadline. They called this morning to let us. Usually people wait till the very last minute. They didn't do that. And everything just click, click, click. I got my bank opened. I didn't even have a bank here to do any of this stuff with or anything. Well, what I wanted to tell you, the main thing from this is, first of all, we holler all the time, get your mortgage paid off. Get your mortgage paid off. And have a little bit of savings. Because the one thing that I told them was I would pay cash, and I was in no real hurry. They could take their time to get out. Those two things. And I know good and well that's why they instantly accepted it. Mm-hmm. Because if you have cash, if a person, has cash on hand, people are more likely to give you the house. When we say pay your mortgage off, it's just not to get out of debt. It makes your life so much easier in tons of ways. And, I was stressed, but it was much less stress-free than if I'd had to go get a loan and mess with all the garbage, and all that. So that's why I wanted to tell them, that. Does that make sense, what I said?
Yeah.
No.
But we were making the announcement that you found a house.
I found a house. It's a cute little house. Sunshine, huge windows. It's got 9-foot ceilings, taller ceilings.
It's got
perfect
3
kitchen.
Yep, 2-car garage, heated garage.
Heated garage.
Nice backyard,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Mom's moving out the end of September.
Mm-hmm.
Is what it looks like.
Yeah, they asked if they could stay till the end of September, so I can stay with Tara till then. The boys are kind of disappointed because that means the candy jar goes with Nan to her
and the
house.
ice cream
and
stash.
The ice cream stash, but they'll handle it.
All right, so Mom got the house. Really, it was a miracle. Honestly, for her the first house she looked at, we made the decision in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was just...
They accepted the offer in less than... wasn't even 12 hours. And 8 of those hours was sleeping. And so, I don't know. It just
started
fell into
clicking.
Place. It was crazy.
Yeah, everything just...
We still don't actually believe it. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it hasn't sunk in.
But anyway, visit us at livingonadime.com.
Bye-bye, guys.
See you guys later. You're a very vain person. You're so vain.
I hate it when people do stuff on TV.
I bet you think this video's about you. You're so vain.
Hanging, and nobody tells them their booger's hanging out.
Bet you think this
Wouldn't you want
video's
somebody to
about
tell you if your booger was hanging
you?
out?
Don't you?
I'm ignoring you.
Okay.
Oh, look at who's fluffing her hair now. Look who's fluffing her hair.
Okay.
Deliver me, deliver me.
Hello. So,
Hi, guys. Oh. And you were hollering at me about checking my makeup.